Hello, Fred.
Hello, Eric.
So, welcome to the technically the very first Eric McKenna Project show in the pandemic era.
The pandemic era. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you, Fred. I don't think
you gotta be
gloves on.
Yeah, you gotta be careful in these times.
Oh, man.
Look, I'm gonna be dangerous.
You're gonna wear that mask the whole show?
No, I just took it off.
Okay,
I took it off.
Holy shit.
I don't know if you could see me, but I can see you, so you know. Yeah. And here's what's messed up about this Skype thing. I can't see my little self because did you ever notice that when you Skype with somebody or you FaceTime, you're not looking at the other person. You're like looking at yourself in there going,
I know.
You know, it's just like,
hey, pull that 57 back a little bit. I don't want you to eat it because it's like.
Oh, you know why? Yeah. Because fucking pandemic.
Well, you know what it is, too? I think that people say I'm nut, though. Yeah, people say that I'm crazy, but I believe the 57 is actually hotter than the 7Bs. I don't know why that is.
I use a 57 on anything when I record.
I know.
Everything gets a 57, even vocals.
Well, okay. Welcome to all of our listening audience and those viewing on Facebook and YouTube. Howdy, Sir Freddy Kowalo is back. Let me explain right off the bat exactly what is going on here so there's no misunderstanding at all. This is the Boogie Street Studio. I am Eric McKenna. This is Sir Freddy Kowalo. We are not in the same room, friends.
We're in our old office.
Yeah, so I've got a couple suites in this building, and we have set up the pandemic version of the Boogie Street Studio, which now has me sitting in Studio A, the regular studio. And Fred is sitting in the additional studio we have built in actually one of my offices. Yes. Well, that's going great.
It looks great.
In another suite in the building. So we are complying with social distancing.
Yes, I'm down the hall.
We're not even in the same room together.
We're on Skype.
We're on Skype as well too, so we can actually see each other. But we've spent time connecting the video cameras. We've connected the audio system, so Fred is mic'd up. It's like he's doing a show with all the accoutrements, the high quality video, the high quality audio, everything like a regular show. It's just we're not in the same room.
But what I really liked about setting all this stuff up is when you gave me a piggyback ride to lift me up, that could run the cables and stuff like that. But, you know.
Well, the funny part is I have not even seen Fred because the whole joke on the thing says, hey, Fred, you can walk into the building and walk straight into the office number 2, and we wouldn't even see each other. So we've not even seen each other yet.
Exactly. And I've got the gloves on just in case you touch the computer. It's my ear. Look, it's like Blink 182. Do I look like Janine Linda Mueller with a beard?
Oh, Christ.
All right, you know what? These are coming off, too, because they're too hot.
You got any alcohol over there? You said you were bringing some alcohol.
You know what? I do.
And I gave you a nice bottle of bourbon.
Hey, well, I was going to get to that.
Okay.
That I came in, and in front of my microphone is a bottle of Wigle City of Champions bourbon made right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Eric was kind enough to put this in front of me. And I think he said, don't drink it.
It's a prop, Fred.
Oh, yeah. Well, since he's over there and we are socially distant, yeah. I think I'm going to, it says, pull the cork and lift your spirits. Guess what? I've got some pretty down spirits for this whole pandemic thing.
I think we all do.
And so to everybody out there that's hanging out in the pandemic, I'm gonna have a drink for them.
You should. And but on my end, Fred doesn't even know this, but I have not drank a drop since the pandemic started. I am completely dry.
So am I.
I am eating healthy. So where everybody's going off the deep end, you hear, all I'm doing is drinking every day, and I'm eating everything I see, and I'm ordering all this takeout, and I hear it's all I hear. I have done the 180. I don't want to meddle because believe me, I'm sure I'll fall off the wagon at some point. But I've not drank a drop. I've watched everything I have ate, and I've exercised, believe it or not, knock on wood, every day.
Gee, that's fantastic.
I do want to medal. I do want to medal for that.
This has been my pandemic routine. For the first 3 weeks, I was drinking about 2-3 bottles a night, a couple bottles of wine, bottle of liquor. Getting up around 3, 4, stuff like that. Starting all over again. Going to bed, maybe 9-ish. in the morning, and just doing it all over again. And it came to a screeching halt.
Okay.
Because when you don't have money, it's just like, when unemployment doesn't pay you for 4 weeks or 5 weeks now, and you're sitting there going, damn. You know what's messed up? There's
a lot of things messed up.
There's a lot of things messed up about this pandemic. But I was just like, I had the same goals. You know what? I'm going to eat right.
Right.
I'm going to, I'm going to stay in shape. I'm not going to drink.
Right.
And I think like the first day I may have thought about it, and then it was just like, nah, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna drink. And I was amazed. It was just like I was because I hadn't been drinking.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, and the thing was is now I'm like, and it's always like the combinations of things, like things I would never drink, like rum. I would never drink rum, and I'm like, oh, you know what? A Mai Tai would feel, or a mojito would be great right now, And I think I'll go get some fresh mint. Imagine. And like everybody's in like the supermarkets with their masks on and shit like that and gloves. They're all sitting around. Like social distancing or trying to. And I'm going, excuse me, is this mint fresh? You're shaking it. It's just like watery. Has anyone else touched this mint? And I need some limes. And they're like, what? You're like running around like looking for. But so I've kind of broadened myself on my tastes. I've tried a variety of new wines. It's like whatever was like $8.99 at Giant Eagle or whatever they got.
You were never very discriminating anyways.
Oh no. I'm the king of Mad Dog. It's just
hey, push that mic back a little further from me.
All right, I'm just gonna push the whole thing back.
Just a little bit. There you go. Okay. All right. Good.
So check it out. And so but I started drinking like mojitos. And then
how many days that last?
Oh well, I got a couple bottles, so till the mint ran out. And then but it's like a mojito and a bottle of champagne. It's like mix and match, and let's see what the most fucked up combination of something you can come up with. And then of course there's all the vodkas, not just a vodka. Because you have to have the flavored vodkas.
Of course.
And you damn well straight can't make a Bloody Mary with a flavored vodka.
And you're by yourself doing all this.
Oh, you get there. I'd help here and there, But, the thing is you sit around and I tried to be good, and I ended up being a better bartender. You know what I mean? So
you're not alone.
Yeah,
you're not alone.
So I'm learning a skill.
Supposedly.
I'm learning. So if there were bars open, I could make you a mojito. I could make a mojito like you wouldn't believe.
Well, you learned a skill. You learned a trade.
I learned
during
a trade.
This. You've been productive during this whole thing.
So I learned a little something.
Well, where were you when the order came down? I mean, because it kind of hit me square in the face. I heard rumblings, but I was so busy with a couple deals I was doing and running around, and all of a sudden, boom, it all came crashing down to a halt.
I was here, there, everywhere, man. And then, and because we were doing a TV show.
Right. And
we were out in Monroeville, and they like the first case was like 2 miles from like the studios out in Monroeville. And it's just like, yeah, we're shut down. And it's like, oh, great. When? Now. Everybody just go home. And it's just like, what? Wait, we're going to go home? And it's just like, it hits you out of the blue. And it's just like, okay, well, at least we'll get paid, At least I got unemployment. Well, guess what? Pennsylvania has like, 1 million people unemployed that week. I literally sat on the phone. Like I'm like sitting there, like 8 a.m. in the morning. You're calling 1,000 times a day. You're not getting through. I'm not joking. 5 weeks later, I got through.
Yeah.
And God bless those people in there, because there's, I'm going to capping on the system, but it's archaic, and But,
do you think?
but literally, there shouldn't have been that many. They're not equipped to handle this many people unemployed.
Well, no, yeah,
and they all have. And the lady I talked to today, God bless her, she had the patience of a saint. And she's like, oh, yeah, we just need a little bit more information. And had you called like April 8th? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I started like March 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30, 31. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and what is it? It's 420 right now. It's and so over a month of trying to call, and the whole process. I think I called 650 times today. I got through on my 648th time. All right, so. And that was like my official tally, because my own phone goes up to 200, and then it starts over again. So 100, so it's 3 times, and then it's like 48, so almost 650 times. So 648 times. I get through. I wait a half hour. And here's the thing: when you do that, you don't want to touch your phone, because I put it on speakerphone, and I'm fucking off. I'm editing photos. I'm playing a video game. I go downstairs. I made some kibasi and pierogies. And the whole time I'm like sitting there holding my phone, like this, so I don't dare touch, because I finally got through. And you don't want to touch the screen with anything, and you don't want to hit the side buttons, because that might hang it up. There's like a phone call coming in. I'm not answering. It's a telemarketer, It's like, it says like scam call, and you're like, man, if this thing hangs up, I'm gonna find this guy. I'm gonna trace his number, and I'm gonna go find. And so I'm like sitting there, and I put the phone back down, and so I eat. You sit around, run around, go up, watch a video on YouTube, something like that. It's like, I'm gonna go see Eric. Let's see, let's watch, some of the past episodes. Sitting there, and, oh, hello, hi. How can I help you? I'm like, oh,
did you forget why you're even on hold?
Oh yeah, it's like sitting there. I can hear somebody talking to me. I'm like, is it? Do I have 2 windows open on this computer? It's like, oh, and then you're like sitting there going, damn it, if I didn't hear her and she would have hung up on me, I really would have been mad,
Oh,
so,
man.
So I get through it. The whole thing takes me like 4 minutes to get done.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, we'll send your money out right away. And I'm like, oh.
Well, at least that's happening.
Well, yeah. So now I have money, and so what's going to be? They don't have any open liquor stores in Pennsylvania. I got to go to like the Maryland. There's
so much I want to just get your thoughts on in regards to this pandemic. I just, so you and I generally opposite sides of the political fence, but we never talk politics anymore, because I moved more toward the center. And I have to admit that he won't admit it, but you've actually moved toward the center too over the years. So politics aside, a lot of people are pissed off right now. Today's the February 20th, so we've been theoretically, it's been over a month. It's over 4 weeks of being on lockdown. I believe that there was an announcement today, and we usually don't date our shows, but during this pandemic, we're going to date our shows. So
it's 420,
it's
yo.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Bunch of idiots out in the street running. It's 420.
Whatever that means.
Right.
Okay. For you marijuana enthusiasts, today is 420.
Let me know when it's 11.
Yeah, whatever that exactly means, I don't know. But anyways, so we've been under the stay-at-home order by the governor of Pennsylvania for, I think, closing on 5 weeks now, or getting close to 5 weeks, or maybe we're on the 5th week, maybe. I don't know. And then I heard today, and again, I don't have any verification of this. I didn't even research it myself. Are we now under orders to stay home till the 10th? Has it been extended to the 10th? Have you heard that?
I got to be honest. I didn't pay attention. I was busy today. Of all days.
Doing what? I mean, what the hell are you busy doing?
Well, when I rolled out of bed around 4:30, so here's what happened. I got up early, and I called unemployment, and then I went back to bed.
It's a rough day, Fred.
Yeah. So and then
So you haven't heard. I think the lockdown is going to just the stay-at-home order, whatever you want to call it. So your whole industry, all the stage workers and all the things that you do locally here when you're not traveling, that's shut down. The work that you do touring is shut down because there's no concerts, there's no congregations of any kind of festivals, there's nothing, right? Worldwide, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's worldwide, yeah.
So you are in the entertainment business, and your livelihood basically is attached to shows.
Exactly.
Of all magnitude.
Yep.
And all diversity.
Yep.
And those shows will not be taking place in the near future? Well, we don't know, right? We don't know what's going to happen with sports and all that. We don't know.
I imagine that they're not going to be doing anything like that, any kind of gathering until at least the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can be hopeful and hope for like a TSO Christmas tour, but I really don't think that's going to happen either. I mean, it's...
So you've been talking, obviously, we have mutual friends, lots and lots and lots of mutual friends on the touring side of it, Willie G probably being the strongest of it. Have you talked to those guys? Have you talked to other cats that have been out there? What's the vibe? Everybody's kind of feeling the same thing?
Everybody's stuck in the same boat. Willie's got he's a stagehand now in Chicago as well. And yeah, we write occasionally and bitch about unemployment. Because Chicago unemployment is just as bad as Pennsylvania unemployment because everybody,
Right.
But when you're in the business, I mean, like everybody's down. You know what I mean? And so it's I used to sit around and say, oh, at least I've got 3 options. I could be a stagehand here in town and be a local guy, when I want to do that, or I can go work on a movie if I want to do that. And if I'm tired of being a stagehand, if I'm tired of doing a movie, I can go on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't do anything. I'm stuck in the house. I'm practicing photography. That's about it. I trying to fix guitars.
Mm-hmm.
I put pickups in. I put these P90s in a guitar the other day, and I didn't even want to give it back. I'm like, yeah, man, the social distancing thing, man. I
stole the guy's guitar.
Yeah, I'm like, I just really don't think that we should, hang out. That thing sounded amazing. I'm like sitting around playing. I'm like, because certain guitars give you like inspiration to write.
Right.
And so I started playing this thing, and it was just like, oh, this is amazing. He's like, yeah, hey, can I get that? Nah, man, I wish I could. Yeah, I really wish I could in good conscience, but man, my mom, I'm just really afraid she's gonna get sick. My mom's out, she's shopping and stuff like that. Yeah, so let me go. Do you want to go pick something up? No, I'll do it. It's like, nah, man, I really don't want anybody to, come over because my mom, I'm worried about my mom, so I'm just gonna have to hang on to your guitar just for just a little bit longer, man. Yeah, I like sitting around. I got to slide out. I'm like playing. This is great, But
it's convenient.
Yeah. So literally, I depleted all my savings, all my bank. Everybody's like, don't you have any? No. With what? I'm not working.
Yeah.
And so that last little paycheck, it lasted, and I borrowed some cash to get through. I'm a stagehand, And the
It comes to the territory.
Oh yeah, it's just like hey, where's that money? Where's my $2? It's like fuck. Yeah.
But you're hearing from, I'm guessing, your cohorts out there that it's pretty much shut down with no real game plan because no one really knows, right?
Yeah, there's no plan. There's nothing that's.
What's your gut tell you?
My gut says next year.
Really?
If we're lucky. If we're lucky, here's the thing, and I don't know what your views are.
We're gonna get into it. I want to hear yours first, though.
But
this is your show.
You know what? If you lock somebody up but you got to stay strict. The problem is America hasn't been strict. There's people out on the streets. They're walking. You walk the trails. Hell, I'm walking in the woods and I see people in the woods, and it's just like I got it. And yeah, I got out. Sometimes I get out, sometimes I don't. I mean, it's me. I can sit in a room all day,
right?
Because it's like I'm on tour.
I walk every day, but I walk solo by myself, and I walk at night because no one's out at all. But I don't think there's anything wrong. I think we're allowed to go on exercise walks and things. Yeah. We just can't come and go in groups, I don't think. And if we do, you have to maintain the distancing and all that stuff.
Exactly. And that's the problem. What you're seeing is you're seeing these people clumping. They're bottlenecking.
I noticed it as well. It's frustrating, and I'm not the kind of person that believes in just turning your neighbor in or I don't care. I just don't care what anybody else does. For the most part, it just becomes little moments where you notice that certain people are not taking it seriously.
Exactly.
At all.
Well, I was afraid to go to the store. Not afraid. I'm not afraid of anything, but I was wary about going to the store. And so of course you take
Sure.
your gloves, your Janine Lindemuller rubber gloves, and your face mask and stuff like that. And right now. Before this, I was the king of hand sanitizer. I'm a germaphobe.
I know.
So I had hand sanitizer, and I'm sorry, but and I actually saw this, and I'll run these two stories together because it probably was the same day. I saw a man push a woman for the last roll of. It wasn't even toilet tissue. It was like Kleenex or what the hell was it?
Paper towels.
Yeah, and it was and he told her as he bumped into her, get the fuck out of his way. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, so you're supposed to be social distancing,
right?
And this guy, and it actually happened. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And as I turn around in disgust and start walking away. Not because he pushed her, because I didn't get the last roll of paper towels. I was all, oh, damn, if I was just a little bit slower, if that lady wasn't in my way. And I turn around, and there's a dude in scrubs. And it's just like, did you come straight from the hospital, and you're not wearing a mask, and you're not wearing gloves, but you're in scrubs?
Yeah.
Now, I get, it's comfy to sit around in, but now, dude, you're in scrubs. And I make the corner, and there's a woman in scrubs. So obviously a hospital nearby just got done.
Right.
And these folks are coming off for work and they're going shopping. And it's just like, man. So now the brain starts going, especially when you're a germaphobe. And it's just like, what, man, I got to,
The anxiety bug, right?
Oh, exactly. And that's what happens. And then, you're trying to think of what is a surefire way to kill germs. And it's just like, oh yeah, vodka. And so, and you got to run, and that's exactly what it's. Vodka kills everything. You can dump it in your washing machine, put it in your shampoo.
Vodka's killed more than the coronavirus has.
I'm sure, exactly. And I'll take my chances with vodka. I don't got to wear a mask with vodka. But no. Man. So yeah, I mean, so you see these people, but you see them on the trails and they're bottlenecked. My favorite thing is. When somebody's dog comes over to you and it wants petted, is it socially acceptable to pet the dog?
That's a good question.
Hey, you know what I do?
That's a good question.
I have done it, and then I thought, what an asshole I am, But it's always great to see the look on the owner's face. You're like, motherfucker, I gotta wash my dog.
Well, if you let your dog come over to me, and you're not in control of that dog, the dog's getting petted.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right?
Man. Exactly.
I mean, that's not your fault.
Yeah, exactly. It's just and that's what these are. It's a weird time where you see your buddy and you're like, hey man, what's happening? You go, he can't possibly have it, but you never know.
Yeah, that's
then when you've got somebody old at home, or like elderly, or somebody sick, or somebody has a heart condition or something, you don't want to bring that home to them.
Well, I think that's the biggest scare. So, I'm really at a point right now on April 20th, having lived in quarantine like all of us have for 4+ weeks, 5 weeks. I'm kind of, and I don't ingest a lot of news. I'm kind of at a point where I'm confused. I'm absolutely very appreciative, beyond words, for all of our nurses and doctors and everybody that's doing it. It's an incredible job, and I'm not brave enough to do that. And I will be the first to admit it. It's not a field I went into because I just don't have it. I don't have that compelling desire to help. I'm not wired that way. So I have complete respect for all those folks, and there's no but here. I completely 100% respect it, and I respect the viewpoint that we needed to flatten the curve so the hospitals weren't inundated. I get it all. And I support it. I'm also at the point too, selfishly for me, I'm in real estate, and Pennsylvania is one of, I think, 3 or 4 states in the entire country where that was not viewed to be essential. So we are essentially shut down. So very selfishly, in my little tiny sliver of the world, that kind of blows.
Yeah.
But the other side of it for me is, at what point do we consider it flattened? Can we reopen certain parts of the country that aren't having the same outbreak issues? Can we be smart about and realizing how important the economy is to our way of life, and we need to kind of get on with it. I don't want to put more people at jeopardy, and I don't want to get into combat with my wonderful friends in the medical community who are doing great work. It isn't about that. It's just that I don't think we can honestly shut down our country for months and months and months and expect our government to pay all of us to exist until eventually we get back to some kind of normalcy.
Yeah.
At what point does those two conflicting, does the safety meet the economy, and we have to give a little bit? Where is that point? That's where I'm at with it.
Well, here's what from what I have been seeing on the news. Some of these people have already flattened their curves, and unfortunately, it's because they were strict. I mean, not to be a jag off, but they had people on spring break.
Yeah.
And they showed these assholes on spring break. Shut the beaches down. Shut down anything like it. Had we done it, they say, one of the reports I saw, had they done it and kept everyone strict, if they would have closed this shit down for 4 weeks solid and
earlier
and not let anybody go to spring break, go to Mardi Gras, go to the we would have been able to be back to normal by now. But they didn't. And now with Florida just the other day, they've reached the highest point of deaths in a day.
Right.
And 3 days later they opened the beaches.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really odd decisions to be made. And I guess, when you think about the struggle between the federal government and state governments, you're always going to have the two fighting, no matter what I get, there's that. There's also the two political sides, which I'm fed up with both of them, quite frankly. The extreme on both parties, once again, they're just alienating half of the society. And those of us in the middle are scratching our heads looking at each other. The thing is, for me, I like there's a big movement to dislike, Wolf's now the enemy. Tom Wolf's the enemy. I don't have a problem with what Governor Wolf did to protect us. When it comes to stay-at-home orders and things like that, he was following the lead that he was given with the best of science. I honestly believe that. I have a struggle that he was unable to articulate why certain businesses were viewed essential and certain businesses were not. And I'm okay with being on the non-essential list if I had an understanding why in our state and only 3 others in the country viewed the real estate sphere as being non-essential. Now, I can make you the argument that, it's the biggest purchase you're probably ever going to make. It's part of your financial well-being. You're going to be married to this property for 10 to 20 to 30 years, all that stuff. And I'm willing to bite my tongue and take it, but you got to fucking explain to me why we are non-essential.
Yeah.
You just don't arbitrarily shut down whole industries with no explanation. And that is my argument and a little bit of my anger toward the the governor's actions. That's where I fall on it. It isn't about the man personally. It's not about, and politics is so personal, Fred. It's not about that for me. I just wanted to understand, and we didn't get explanations.
Yeah, yeah, and that, I think though, if you look at it like this, there was so much to tell that they tried to get over everything and explain everything, that the exact smaller points, things that affect you, things that affect they're being glossed over, and we haven't gotten that information. You know what I mean? And it's under, it does get frustrating, because how are you supposed to make? You could work from home.
Yeah, the real estate thing is frustrating for me too, and not just realtors, the whole sphere of the people I work with, my inspectors, appraisers, my financial lenders. Because our industry is so multifaceted with so many different moving parts, when it was shut down, there was no real exit strategy. It took a week or two before they actually said, okay, well, any deal that was at this stage before this date, you can continue, and anything afterwards, you can't. They didn't give that to us right away. Literally, they just said, quit fucking working and stay home.
That's what happened to us.
I got showings. I have an offer in on a property. I have inspectors going the next day to another property. Appraisers already scheduled to go in, and 2 closings that were already in the books coming up. What about all that stuff? There was no answer. See, that's my frustration.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm sure that my frustrations are for every other agent out there, but more importantly, other industries that were caught midstream in business transactions got hosed.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it wasn't explained.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Yeah, and again, well, what did they know? You know what I mean? Maybe the only thing that they knew is the best thing to do is stay home.
Mm-hmm. I think it is. And I won't argue that.
I mean, but they didn't have an answer for us. And so it's, look, stay home. You know, it's just like, it's like your parents. Why? Just listen to me, stay home.
Because I said so.
because I said so. And I think that because they didn't know. They knew that they had a bad outbreak in Philadelphia. And when you look at it, Pennsylvania's got the highest, second highest unemployment rate. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We have, if I'm not mistaken, we're like the second highest, or we're up in the top of cases. Mm-hmm. But it's all out Philadelphia. So I mean, that East Coast got it. You're looking at New York City's got it. You're looking at Philadelphia. You're looking at Baltimore down the So I mean, it's along that.
Although those people
line.
in those areas, from Philadelphia into some areas of northern New Jersey, but definitely down to New York City and up into Boston to a lesser degree, that whole region, people are stacked on fucking top of each other.
Well, that's
everybody's
exactly it.
jammed together where they're going to have more cases.
Yep.
I mean, it's. It's so unhealthy for the country, too, Fred, is to see the governor of New York fighting with the president, and then the governor of this state fighting with the president, then the governor over here in a love fest with the president. And there's all that combat, and it just is, and without getting into the politics of it, it just isn't necessary. If the idea is to give a stay-at-home order and mandate it, and we're short on ventilators, then tell me the fucking problem, and then tell me what you're going to do about it. Quit blaming other people.
Yep.
We don't have any time for blame. The blame can come when the dust settles, and then you can blame and investigate and find out why why we were not prepared. But you can't address the why during the crisis because it's non-productive.
Exactly.
You have to have everybody working toward solving the problem.
You have to have everybody going for this is the United States of America. You have to have everybody going for the same goal. It shouldn't be about I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican or I'm a this or I'm a that. You shouldn't be up there calling people names and I'm not, this should be put your differences aside.
Right.
Find a common goal. The common goal is doing this,
it's flattening the curve and make sure our hospitals didn't get overwhelmed. I think that was the goal, right?
That's the goal is to keep it down to a minimum. And again, staying at home.
I think they have too.
It's easy. They've done what they could. They've done what they could. But watch what happens. And mind you, and you got to look at these states. And we up in Pennsylvania, we make West Virginia jokes. Man, Florida. You ever been down there? You ever hang out there? Yeah,
Southern Florida.
And so they opened the beaches. So now it's going to be bad. Texas, you don't mess with Texas. Come on, Texas. They're opening all this shit back up. There shouldn't be. The governors, the federal government says it's up to the governors of the states, to mandate what they do. So the order from the federal government was, make a lockdown, tells them. So they keep it. Now they're saying, oh, your governors are, are locking down free, this, free that. You know what? No. Stay in bed, stay inside for just a couple weeks. That's all they had to do.
Yeah. What's funny too is I really had an enlightening moment the other night. I was laying in bed and I get frustrated too, because we'll talk about television in a second because I actually got addicted to one television show, which you're not going to believe when I tell you. But anyways, I'm laying in bed and I said to myself, wow, in theory, they're really only asking us to hunker down for like a month or two.
Yeah.
In the big picture of life, really, is that really that fucking difficult? I mean, I'm like most people. I got things in my house. I got a decent-sized house. I can move around. I got things I love to do. I have guitars there. I have a ton of books. There's every kind of media available. We got 12 televisions in the goddamn house. There's tablets. We have plenty of food.
Yeah.
Is it really that difficult to do what they're asking us to do?
You're getting a month-long vacation.
I mean, and I'm telling you, there are people that are going to listen to this and watch this and mother F us, and
Exactly.
It's not that point. I have a right to leave well, you know what? You're allowed to go for a walk. no one's really saying you can't go for a drive. I mean, you just can't go out and I've gone out like at midnight for a drive and listening to music by myself. I don't know if I'm allowed to or not, but I have been.
Yeah.
And I mean, it isn't like there's someone pointing a gun to my head and saying, stay in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Right?
No. It's use your common sense when you're out.
Yeah, of course.
Unfortunately,
of course.
You do it.
I don't go to stores.
But
Let my wife take care of all the shopping.
but it's the other people that aren't using their common sense. It's the people that are throwing their parties.
I know.
In
defiance, right?
Well, that's what it is. I saw this thing where on spring break where they kept the beaches open in Florida for spring break. Did you see this? Where they followed people's cell phone data?
Yeah.
And all those kids, and where they all went, they went back and they went to Detroit, they went to Philly, they went to New York. They're not, they and it's just
it's selfishness, and and I think if anything, this has revealed what the best of our country, and I think there is a small segment of the population too that is extremely me, selfish. Yes. And I think that has been exposed.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It definitely has been. And that's why I said, you know what? One of the good things about me touring is I've seen places that we're spoiled, man. Mm-hmm. I've been to supermarkets. I've been to places where
you've been to India.
I've been to India. I've been to places where if you want chicken for dinner, they cut the head off right there for you, and here's your chicken. And we can go in and get. Do you want it cooked? Do you want it fried? Do you want it? And
first world problems.
Yeah, and we have no idea.
Right.
It's a me society. Where again, everybody gets the trophy, and and we've come.
We're soft in a lot of ways.
This is bringing out the ugliness and all this.
Yeah, selfishness.
All you had to do was stay. Oh, dude! If I get it, I get it. That one guy said. It's like, yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah,
and
who would want that, right?
Exactly.
I mean, who would really want that? So, again, maybe I'm oversimplifying it now. Also, let me preface my comments. I'm making light of the fact I didn't find it too hard to hunker down, and I still don't. It's not taxing on me. But again, I don't have young kids running around.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have some of the obstacles other people have. I've already reared my children. They're young adults, so it's different for me, and I get that. And and I will tell you, it's also caused a lot of financial heartache for a lot of people.
Yes,
and I will not minimize that either, because there's no way I can't understand someone else's circumstance because I'm not living it. So, but I have to be empathetic toward it, obviously. What is outside of seeing just a sliver of society not complying or not doing the right thing or being selfish? What's inspired you? What's made you feel good about what you've seen out there? Got to be something.
Long pause for drama.
You're gonna break that whiskey bottle up, man. I'm gonna be very.
I've been drinking it.
I didn't see it. It's off camera. I can't see it.
It's on this one. I've been stealthily drinking it.
Stealthily.
Yeah.
Is that even a word? Is that a word? Is that a Pittsburgh word?
You go down there and drinking that there Wigle City Champions bourbon down there stealthily.
I feel so bad because Meredith, one of the co-owners of that company, invited me down. We'll
do a big gulp on
from Wigle Whiskey. Invited me down for a tour, and we had footage from that. They were coming on. Her and her husband were coming on the show. All this good stuff was happening with the project. We had. I can't tell you how many guests we had booked for. It was for April and May, and going into June. The show really had legs in it, and boom.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, it happens.
I guess
just when everything's going good, and just when you're like, oh my God, it can't get any better. This is what I've wanted all my life. I'm finally happy, and there it goes, bang, done. Somebody's gonna pull the rug out of you.
Well, the thing is too, I know Fred and I had talked when the pandemic first happened, and I was frustrated. Selfishly. I was selfishly frustrated. And Fred said, well, why don't you just start doing some of these shows remotely with Zoom? And because, that Zoom is like the thing now. And obviously we're using Skype here internally for Fred and I to actually see each other. And I told Freddie on the phone, remember what I said? I go, I built this studio.
Mm-hmm.
I invested in this equipment because I wanted the conversational vibe of having the guests there. That's what made the show what it was.
Yeah.
And we let it lie for a couple weeks, and I was going to do a couple remotes things, and it was Fred's idea. Fred goes, well, you have 2 other suites down there. You have 3 suites. Couldn't you somehow? And I said, I get it. I know where you're headed. But I mean, to me, the fact that, yes, we're not in the same room, but you're here. Yeah. You're wired into the sound system. You're wired into the video system. You're part of the show. Yeah. But I guess my point was, if I had a point, Meredith and her husband were coming down here, and they were such good people. We had a lot of really cool things happening, which are just being postponed now. They're not canceled. But man, what a monkey wrench into the entire thing.
Oh, it happens. Like I said, which when you got everything all planned out and you think you got it. Nope, there it is. There it is.
Are you surprised? Let me ask you this question. Are you surprised with how I already knew Americans were addicted to television. But are you surprised at the extent and the level that it is right now?
Well, whoever has stock in Netflix or Amazon Prime, you're golden, man. And that's, at Hulu.
I know.
My God.
What the hell you been watching, Fred?
Oh, you know what? Here's me. I wasn't going to do it. Wasn't going to do it.
Come on.
Wasn't going to do it.
Let's hear
Wasn't going to do it. Tiger King. Oh, my God. You know why? Because I needed to see something that was more. I needed to see somebody that was more fucked up than me, and I did. And I would hang with those guys.
Yeah, they're pretty messed up, man.
Oh, dude,
they're pretty messed up.
You know what? I'd drink with those guys.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
I'll put the tiger. It's like, my God. And so it was awesome. And yes,
now,
if you want,
how did you get dragged into that show? Who recommended you to watch that show?
You know what? It just got turned on one night.
And you got hooked.
Oh, I got hooked.
Because the cats.
Yes. And the cast of characters. I mean, it's like, come on, really? And you're like sitting there going, well, you know what? I got to see what happens next.
That got dragged in that kicking and screaming. My whole brokerage at Cowden Creek, everybody was watching it. And simultaneously, my wife and her kids were laying on the couch, kind of like watching this thing. And I'd walk in the room and go, what the hell what's that? I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to succumb to TV. So here's what happened. I wasn't feeling that well, and I'm thinking, I have the coronavirus, right? I just had a cold, so I was in bed for a day or so, and I end up watching this show called Doc Martin.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's not the clothing company or the shoes and all that nonsense, but it is an English show about a small farming village. And about a very quirky doctor there, and I'll leave it at that. Anyone who's seeing this, if you've seen it, it's on the Roku network, the Acorn network, and it's an English sitcom, and there's 9 seasons, so they must be doing something right. And it's nothing that I would look at and think that I would be remotely entertained by, but it's that thing about those series, they just grab, the characters just grab you, and just, okay, I'll watch one more.
Yes,
okay, I'll watch one more.
That's what happens.
9 seasons later and 3 days later.
Exactly.
You're invested in all these characters, right?
It's like, you're going to get out of bed. No, I'm still sick. What's going to happen to Doc Martin?
Doc Martin, exactly right. So, I did. Now in the meantime, I come downstairs one night and my wife's kind of like, she's dipping and weaving, and it's like she'll drop in for a couple shows, and she goes, you got to watch Tiger King. And I'm like, you know what? I go, just for the hell of it, I'm going to do it. And I just watched there's like 8 of them or 6 of them or something.
There was
5 of them.
6 of them, 7.
Know. So I invested a whole night watching that from start to finish.
Yeah, that's the only way you can do it.
And at the end, I'd have to say, I think that Carol lady fed her husband to an animal. That's my guess.
Oh, hell yeah, she did. Hell yeah, she did. My God. She did. You know what? This is what's awesome. It'd be awesome if they would investigated that even more thorough.
Wouldn't it be funny though if the show ends up getting her arrested? If had the show not happened, no one would be thinking about it.
Oh, exactly. Nobody. It was hush hush, you know. And then all of a sudden, could you imagine that? You got away with something for 20 years. It's like I fed my husband to the tigers. I dipped him in seared sardine oil, and nobody could catch me. And then you got some loudmouth fucking Joe Dirt looking, you know.
Joe Dirt.
That's
what he looks like. Joe Dirt.
He's got like, you know, he's a polygamous gay guy. You know, he's got like 2 husbands, and you know.
How about the teeth on that one guy,
dude?
Or lack thereof.
And check it out. After the show, he went and got
teeth.
Got teeth. He got married to a woman or some shit. It's just like, great, man, good for you. You know, and he
man.
And it's just, you know, and you know, but it introduces you to like a cast of characters, and you're like, man, I thought I had some weird friends.
Then you get involved. Yeah, you do have some weird friends, but then you get invested in it. It's a formula. I mean, they've got to figure. Those networks have it. Netflix network, Amazon, they've got it figured out.
Oh yeah, and it's even better when you're drunk. Yeah, when you're on your 5th mojito of the evening, going, hang on a second, and you know. And you know, you're sitting there going, oh, man, am I going to pause this? Do I wait for like an ad? You know, what am I going to do? As you're sitting there going, I need a mojito, and you get up and you run over, and it's like, you know,
oh man,
but it's an awesome show. I watched that.
Tiger King.
I started watching War of the Worlds. The new little thing, and
wait, back up. What's that?
They have like it's on one of these channels. It's War of the Worlds. It's like a mini series.
Okay, didn't see that.
And it's not bad. I got to like episode 6 of that, and then it's just like, oh well, I got to episode 6 of that, and then it became Tiger King, and then Tiger King took over, and I totally forgot about War of the Worlds because I caught up to it. You know what I mean? Like up to where it's like on the weekly thing.
Right.
And then started watching which I never would have watched, Killing Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really good, and then you know, you sit around and it's just like, oh, wait a second, Oak Island's on. You know, it's my favorite show. You know, it's like, oh, are you gonna find the treasure or not? You know, and so you start, and then you got to go through the bag, and I you know, because I have my staples. I have Oak Island, Walking Dead, Ancient Aliens. I don't need anything else.
Ancient Aliens.
You know, I don't need anything else. And
Giorgio.
Looks like Jeff Reed. Remember Jeff Reed, the Steelers kicker? That's what he looks like. So,
that's
yeah,
great.
man. So
great.
you know, but then anything on the History Channel, you know, and I'm good. But I
how much can you ingest, man? I mean, like, to me, I binged on this Doc Martin show for a while, and I had to like. And I'm walking every day, so I'm doing that, and I'm doing a little whatever work I'm permitted to do, and I'm working around. You know, you're doing stuff, but don't you feel like your mind goes to mush when you're just sitting there watching television?
I live in a hotel 9 months of the year, and on a bus.
Television's your best friend.
You know what's great? You know what's great is yes, I'm a loser, and I live. Which this studio reminds me of being home because
sofa,
it's
big screen TV on the wall.
Yeah, because that's exactly because I had to go back into a room that held like Christmas decorations. You know, I'm 50 and I'm homeless and I'm poor. You know, and I had to go back into my mom's house, you know, so I'm like riding out coronavirus, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, this sucks. So all I do is I sit in a room. Now here's what the greatest thing is I started playing, like you said, how much can you ingest? So I discovered, I was looking for the life of me, I forget what the hell I was even looking up, what movie, and I discovered this TV show this website that streams television shows for free and like movies.
Okay.
So I've got like a backload of like old movies, like and it's a lot of shit that I'm in. I'm like, oh, this makes it even better.
That's cool. That's cool.
For the life of me, I can't remember what the hell it's called. And but it's got like, you know, horror movies and, you know, comedy, stuff like that. Right. So I started watching that. So now I don't even leave the room. So I wake up about 4:30
in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, and I fuck with my phone for a little bit, look and see who I pissed off for the day. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, at one time I was looking for booze. You know what I mean? And this is what's great about sitting there. You know, Pennsylvania they stopped liquor sales, so I have no booze.
But you can buy beer.
I don't drink beer.
I know, but you can go to the beer distributor.
But
How's that make any sense?
I don't drink beer. Yeah, exactly, right? So check this out. So I'm sitting there. You know what's amazing is when you're on your last bottle of vodka and you've only got like a quarter bottle of like something you wouldn't drink if you even thought about it, and you're laying there trying to sleep and you can't because you're like all Tiger Kinged out and you're sitting there and you're going, oh my God, Carol Baskin, she did kill her husband, and you're sitting there laying there and you're thinking, wait a second, didn't Ozzy give me that bottle of some kind of German Bavarian honey liquor and you thought it was disgusting and you hid it in the red toolbox tool shed right side sliding door? Oh my God, I've got booze. And you come running out of the house because you're so excited because you can't sleep anyway, and you're going downstairs and you're rummaging through your basement, which is a mess because that's where I threw all my stuff. When I got tossed out of my house, I'm still in my basement, and I go to my red toolbox and I'm like, oh my God, where's it at? And you realize it's behind all those amps and shit like that, and you're like, oh my God, and you're going there and it's just like, and there it is.
It was there.
Some kind of Bavarian honey liquor that Oz said to me one day, hey, Freddie, I've got this bottle of something that I don't want. Maybe
a bottle of something.
Maybe you could drink it.
If he didn't want to drink it, he gave it to you.
He gives it to me, and I like drink it. I'm like, holy shit, this is terrible. And Zakk walks by, he's like, dude, did fucking Oz give you that? Fucking, he tried to fucking pass that off on me. Fuck that shit. That's nasty. You're gonna drink that? I'm like, I figured you would, So fucking, but yeah. So now I'm like drinking, like I've got this like, you don't know what to mix it with.
How many years ago was that?
Oh, fucking, it's got to be at least
18?
Yeah.
About right?
Somewhere around there, yeah. And that's what's funny about me is what was fun always coming through customs? It's like anything to declare, and you're like, no. And they put that new camera in there where like they're x-raying your suitcase.
After 9/11.
Yeah, it's like what's in the suitcase? What are all those bottles full of? And it's just like and you're coming home from Europe and you're like getting a bottle of wine from like every country and you're like allowed to bring like 2 home, and I've got like 13 in that one bag, and it's just like not counting my road box or what's in my carry, it's just like would you buy at the airport, it's like that bag, yeah, that's gifts, and the guy's like, gifts, huh? It's just like, come on, you're Canada, no, we're the United States now because you come to customs in the U.S. now, and it's like, damn, man. And he let me go through with all that.
What does shit taste like?
It's horrid. My God.
Bavarian honey something.
It's just...
What was the liquor?
It's a honey liqueur.
Honey liqueur.
And I'm trying to be good, man, so you can have it. And I'm like, yeah. And I take a sip of it. Even I cringed. And fucking Zakk goes, like, dude, fuck. Yeah, he tried to pass that fucking shit off on me. Fuck that. I said, give it to you. Yeah, it's just like, okay, it's just like, oh, thanks. But
you found it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I drank it.
And supposedly liquor never goes bad, right?
Oh, if it went bad.
It was never good.
It was never good to begin with. I couldn't tell. But yeah, so actually, I found a treasure trove of forgotten booze from, 20 years ago.
That's funny as shit.
So, it's kind of like my own Oak Island,
That's funny as shit.
We dig deeper into the basement trash and we find out all my musical instruments from days gone by, all my amps. It's like, man, I know I've got a toolbox here. It's just like, well, we're getting into the chamber right now where there's possibly a good 8 or 9 bottles of some kind of liquor that you didn't drink back in the day, and you open it up and it's like, oh my God, here's a 20-year-old bottle of Jägermeister from when I first discovered Jägermeister. And it's just like, wow, this is amazing. I remember this. This is the one I couldn't drink because I was peeing brown, It's just like my kidneys stopped fucking working and I had to stop drinking Jägermeister. So I brought him home. And look, I found him. And I found that, and I found some like a lot of good wines. And I was smart. I turned my wines sideways and there was a couple skunk bottles, but but
you drank them.
Oh yeah, can't let it go to waste. That's alcohol abuse, and you're sitting there, and it's just like people are like, "Hey man, I've been trying to get a hold of you all day." Well, yeah, just getting up. It's just like, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. You know what? My schedule's different now. It's my God-given right under this lockdown that if I want to get up at 4:30, I just started working the midnight shift. That in my mind, that's what I'm doing. I'm working a midnight shift, and you know what? I'm getting up. I've literally, if you could see me, I've lost 10 pounds doing this. I'm just like, hey, man, everyone's like, man, you working out? You're looking good. I'm like, no, I'm just too lazy to get my ass out of bed and eat. I got a bottle of booze here, and it's just like.
Rather drink than eat.
Yeah, it's just like.
It's not real healthy,
So I have that. So in my room, I have booze now. I have my laptop. I do get out edit photos. We'll talk about that later. So I edit photos all day,
right?
And I sit around and I found this game that I played back in the day. You know what? I just knew it pissed people off that I played this game all day, and that's why I played it, because it's called Rome Total War.
Rome Total War.
Oh my God! And it's this little and like the graphics are like super cheesy, and it's just like like it was like made in like 2001, And so now here we are in 2020. So it's this 19-year-old game that I can't update a computer on, so I could play it because it's only like a 32-bit. And so, but I'll sit there and I'll play that for hours, and that was my hotel game on the road to keep me out of trouble. Everybody's like, oh, nope, and I'm up there playing this game, so I'll play it for hours. I've discovered that game again, and it's gotten, and
your mind's gonna go to mush.
Oh, it's mush already.
Quarantine.
It's quarantine. It's like what happened to Fred. Well, yeah, but
liquor and bad habits.
Oh my God, yeah. Sitting around, and so I either do that, then I go and I do some photos, and I'll get out into the woods.
Yeah, you've been shooting a lot. I've been seeing that on social media.
And it's just like, man, the sun's going to go down pretty soon. There's not.
What's happening to you? You're taking nature photos the whole time. What the fuck?
What the hell do I got? I'm not back in New York taking like fashion photos. You know what I mean? It's just like I'll take some dick pics. That's
okay.
I mean, it's okay. Hey, man, I got to do something, to bide my time. There's a bumblebee. Here's a flower. It's I'll send this to Eric. But it's out of sheer boredom. But the thing is if anything, like some cats are like working out.
Yeah.
Like Jason from Shinedown. He's a beast. He looks like, he's like he's all cut and ripped and stuff. Like he's on Instagram doing, like 30 clams.
Well, good for him. He's doing something.
Well, yeah. He used to do 30 clams a night at Shinedown, too. He'd clam so bad. But that's clams for making mistakes on guitars. Hey, buddy. But yeah, so, I mean, he's working out. And like I said, day one, I said, I'm going to come out of quarantine looking like Schwarzenegger. Nope. Didn't happen.
And that is what I would love to know. Like, how many times did people have goals to start this quarantine? Because I set them, and I got some of them done so far. But how many people started out with great intentions and probably 4 weeks into this are probably put on like 25 pounds, can't get off the couch, drunk off their ass, don't know whether they're sober or drunk. And there are days that I had actually, it's embarrassing, but I didn't know what day of the fucking week it was a couple times.
I didn't know what day of the week it was. I really didn't. I didn't know what day of the week. Eric, I'm gonna come clean with you on this. And when I say come clean, I am the
Here we go.
king of clean.
Yeah.
I showered. I went 9 days without showering, changing my clothes, brushing my hair. I shit you not. The other day.
I hope you brushed your teeth.
What? It spit it in my room? Hell no. I'm depressed. I'm in a closet. I live in a closet. I'm like, what is it? What was that? Adobe the
no
house
one
elf
believes
or whatever?
this shit, Fred. No one believes this.
9 days I went. I didn't brush my hair for 9 days. I didn't change my clothes for that. You know what? And I'll be honest with you on this. I had to change the shirt because I wear the same shirt for every show. But I changed the pants, and I said, you know what? These new pants don't feel right. I got to put the old pants. So I put the old pants back on. So these pants, with the exception of like 2 days, I've been wearing for 9 days. So 9, 10. This is the 10th, 11th day. So, but the thing is,
are you reading anything? I mean, do you got any books you've read? Have you used to read like crazy?
Well, here's the thing. Yes, I have been reading, and I'll get to that too.
Okay.
And it's photography stuff,
right?
That's my saving grace.
You're bent now,
and that's and I thank you for the camera, because literally I'm out there taking pictures of things, and my thing is to get better and better and better. And literally I can go from one day and see a change. And you asked if I read, and that's what I've done.
Right.
I've in the 3 hours that I'm up and conscious and sober a day, I read books on photography, and I learn, and I take it out, and I practice, I apply it into like my real life. And so today, before I came over here, I said, you know what, man? I took some killer photos yesterday. And for me to say that, I was proud of myself with what I got done. And I literally had to drag my ass out of bed yesterday. And I'm like, man, I got to do it. And it was great. It was overcast. It was cloudy. And I went out and I said, I'm going to shoot at this farm where I shoot all these like animals. They're up on the hill. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do different things. I decided to do flowers. And so the dandelion pic on my Instagram, Freddy Kowalo Photography, Instagram. I did this. So I started like experimenting, because I didn't take the petals off. I shot through them, and I focused on. And I've got this great like X-ray shot of a dandelion, and you know, and so I was amazing myself. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then I just on these flowers, and I saw this goose sitting on her nest, and she was across this pond, and I'm like, you know, I've gone up there a couple times, and I've noticed like she's always sitting there, so I knew she'd be there. But here's what's fucked up, is I love this. This is during the pandemic outbreak. Her husband's out fucking around. He's up on the hill up by this grain silo with these other male geese, and it's just awesome. It even happens in barnyards. And this is how my mind, this is how you're asking what's happened in my mind. He's up there fucking around. He's probably fucking honking at some other fucking goose up there, some other chick goose, you know, and him and his buddies are up there eating corn at the grain silo, and they're honking, and she's honking for him down there. She's sitting on the eggs. She's sitting at home, you know, and I'm thinking, this is nature at work. You know, it's a beautiful thing. And so I'm sitting there watching, and I'm taking pictures of this goose. Well, she's honking loud enough, and you hear him honking back, and he starts flying. And I shit you not, this is what happened. He's flying in. His buddies are up on the hill. I can see all this. They're honking at him. He goes home to see what the hell she needs. He crashes in the water. She's motherfucking him. She's his buddies are up there laughing up on the hill. They're laughing. And I've got, here's what it's the best part of it is, I'm practicing my photography skills on all this. So I got pictures of the whole thing laid out. I've got the guys on the hill.
You can tell the story.
teasing his ass. And so she tells him off and blah, blah, blah. And he sits there, and the guys there's other geese flying around the pond, taunting him. And he's like, honk, honk, honk. And she's sitting there, and he's sitting there, and he's sulking, and he's going back and forth across the pond. I thought, wow, man, that's really cool. You know, he ditched his buddies. He stayed home with his wife to take it. But he's pissed. You could tell he's pissed. So that was yesterday, and I got these great pictures, and they're hilarious because you could tell even in goose talk, this guy was pissed.
Goose talk.
He was getting his ass chewed out by his fucking goose wife, and his goose ass was fucking cooked. And he's sitting down there, and I've got like great pictures. He's like sitting there, and his like tongue sticking out of and I'm thinking, wow, this is great. I'm gonna go back and get some pictures of this today, but I'm gonna do it earlier. So I do. I go and I set up like a little blind, like a professional photographer. I'm like all into it, and I'm sitting there, and I'm on the side of the road, and I'm propped up against a pole. I've got some cattails blocking me. I've got this fucking red-winged blackbird, and I swear he's talking to me, and I'm going, shut the fuck up. It's like I can hear him saying things to me, and I'm like, listen, you son of a bitch, I'm gonna throw a stone at you anyway. So, but I'm trying to
throw a stone at you.
Yeah, because he's telling me to, you know, it's like,
oh shit.
So I'm sitting there, and I've got the perfect stakeout, and they don't know I'm there. And he's pacing back and forth in the pond, and I'm getting pictures, and the wife's taking a nap. And so she's got her head underneath her wing, and I'm like, oh, man, she's not exciting, blah, blah, blah. And his buddies are up on the hill, still honking, and he's just mad, swimming back and forth, back and forth. And I'm sitting there, and the mother goose, she picks up her head, and she looks around, and he starts coming over to her, and I hear, hey, excuse me, hey. And I turn around, and we're lost. Can you help? I'm like, fuck. And I turn around, and the goose, he's gone. He's up with his buddies. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I was going to have this great intimate moment where she wakes up, and he goes up, and he sees her.
Dude fucked it all up.
Oh, no, it was like two women. We're lost. Can you help us find them? I'm
lost.
Like, Jesus, fuck. They yell. Every little wild thing in the forest, in the pond, in the cattails, in that environment where I was going to get these great nature photos, is gone. Even the bugs flew away. The mosquitoes weren't even bothering me. They're like, you know what? Fuck that. There was gnats flying around me. They're gone too. And I'm like sitting there going, son of a bitch. So I miss these photos, and it's just like, you got to be kidding me. So. Okay, this is what I shot yesterday. I went to shoot the farm animals. I didn't get them. I shot barbed wire. I shot flowers. I shot more flowers. I went and shot some really cool flowers underneath a tree. I went to the pond, shot the goose, shot some ducks, shot that damn red-ringed blackbird, shot the guy ducks up on the hill, the buddy ducks that are fucking with the guy for, knocking some chick up, and having to hang out by the house. So I shot all this stuff. It was great. So I go driving back home, and all these things, I was at the perfect time. I do this enough. I do it all the time. So I know when the animals will be out, like with their things on. So I went and saw my friendly neighborhood deer who was crossing the street, or crossing the dirt road, just as I was crossing. So, I mean, we're in sync, me and the animals. And I'm like a regular Dr. Doolittle.
Dr. fucking Doolittle here.
So she crosses the road, and I drive past her. I go over the crest of the hill. I get out of the car, walk up, and I'm taking pictures of her. And she's seen me enough. It's the deer I posted on my Instagram photos. She's there same time. She's a loner. Probably like an ugly deer. Probably she's a little chunky, but it's not bad for a deer, But the other deers, they don't dig her, I think maybe that, she
probably does the heavy metal show.
Yeah. Wait. She's a Gothopotamus deer.
Gothopotamus.
I go back down to the house, and then that's when you called. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm ready.
Dude, you're talking to animals now.
Oh, dude, I'm nuts. And literally that's what my life has become. I'm lonely, sad,
Well, on another note, before I forget, been listening to a lot of books on tape, right? So I listened to a book I had read prior years ago, but man, when you listen to it and you hear the story, it's just different, right?
Yeah.
So it was Tony Iommi's autobiography. And you used to tell me a story that Ozzy told you about where Iommi used to set Bill Ward on fire. And Iommi, you would tell me this story amongst many things that Ozzy would extrapolate on between shows. And you said, yeah, they set Bill Ward on fire. Well, in this book, on 2 occasions, he very detailed explains how they set Bill Ward on fire.
Oh my God!
With cleaning fluid.
Hey man, it's tour. You get bored. Some people pay road to war.
And it was actually that came up in the book today as I was walking. I'm like, he's not going to believe it, but it's all outlined in that book. The story verbatim as the way Ozzy told you. It's right in there.
I used to love listening to Oz tell stories, man, and it was. It would be like a rare moment. I mean, it wasn't like it didn't happen all the time. But when it did, it was special, and it was great, and it was just like, oh my God, there's another story. Yeah, and those are the things that I don't care if I never got paid doing that gig. I would love just to hear the stories from his mouth. Because that is
the shit that he's seen and experienced.
Exactly,
I mean,
man. And Zakk, man, I just love to hear the old Zakk stories. And and I think that even with touring, those kind of things are priceless because you don't get to always get it put in a book.
Well, yeah, and you can't go back and relive it. And obviously, with each year that goes by,
you kind of forget
it. Well, yeah, and eras change too. I mean, because touring is not the same today as it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And that's real apparent too, just listening to, if anybody out there is interested in that book, or anyone has an interest in the Black Sabbath guitar player Tony Iommi, his autobiography, which came out, I want to say like 7 years ago, really an interesting read and listen. I recommend doing both. But that story about them setting Bill Ward on fire, I literally was walking at the time that I almost fell over. I said, "Oh my God, it's exactly how Ozzy told you they used to set him on fire." Because who would believe that, right? But
it just like I said, hearing these things from these guys. Truth is stranger than fiction, especially in the rock and roll world.
How do you think that whole industry, how do you think the metal industry, which quite frankly has taken its lumps the past 10 years or so in terms of tour revenues and popularity, and I mean, especially in the U.S., would you agree that it's a waning demographic? Yeah,
it's a waning, it really is. I mean, it's a waning demographic in the U.S.
Right, in the U.S.
Go anywhere else in the world, it's king.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's proven by audiences at festivals and so forth.
Oh, yeah, my goodness. But in the U.S., it's a waning industry. One of my favorite things was, you were asking what I was doing in quarantine. I was writing music. I actually sat down, broke out the Kurzweil, broke out the 4-track, the 16-track, and bass and guitar, and sat down and started writing songs. The metal industry, they're going to come out pissed off with some good songs.
I hope.
That's what I tell people. I sit around and say, people are like, "Oh man, I want a band. You can't play out. Use this time to practice. Use this time to become better. I'm practicing my photography. I think I'm becoming better. If you want to be a bass player, use this time to, if you want to be a drummer, use this time to practice your drums. So when you come out of this and you get to play with your band again, now you're killer. I used to play in a band, a pop band, where we practiced once a week, but we spent the week, you learn the songs.
Right.
Man, this is going to give people tons of time to write songs.
I hope.
Write a polished song, or learn your instrument.
Right.
So when you do come out of this, you can play, and that's the whole thing, man. This is the free pass of nowhere. People are bitching. I want this economy back up. You can watch Tiger King 24 hours a fucking day if you want, and nobody's going to say anything.
I think there's an element in the human condition. People just want to complain about anything. I mean, if you gave every American like $1 million, believe me when I tell you, in 6 months, a portion of the people will be broke.
Yeah.
A portion of people will have $5 million, and everyone will have something to complain about.
Exactly. But that's exactly what they're doing. You've got a month off of work.
Of life.
With some kind of pay. Somebody's going to pay you somehow. Sit around. You know what it is? They're stuck with their fucking significant other. And that's what it is. Like, fuck. You chose wrong.
You chose wrong.
You get some people in there, they're fucking.
I think it has a lot to do with it. I think divorce attorneys are going to be busy.
Oh, they're going to be making money, man. It's like, you sit around and you go, hey, we're about to go into quarantine, It's just like, what should we get at the supermarket? It's just like booze, canned food.
If somebody's been, listen, before I make light of this, certainly, if you've been touched by the coronavirus and it's someone that you love, a friend of yours, someone in your sphere has been hurt by it, or heaven forbid, have been killed by it, then there's no humor in this.
Yeah.
But that's the vast minority of people.
And we're not trying to upset anybody.
No. But you know what? Humor is humor. I mean, my argument is like, how do I say this?
Fred, you're an asshole.
No, you've got you've got, it's going to turn out to be, for most states in Pennsylvania, it's probably going to be 8 full weeks here of sitting on your ass with the opportunity to do pretty much anything
Watch Tiger King.
That you can do within the confines of your house. And that in today's society is a lot based upon the media and everything else. But man, we just have to, and so
bitch about it.
And so if someone wants to protest and they feel they need to do that, and because I have a lot of realtor friends of mine who feel that, they're part of the protest in Harrisburg that I think happened today or yesterday. I'm not much on the protest front. I think it probably isn't safe if we're supposed to be social distancing for you to go protesting. I'm not, whether you have the right to protest or not is without a doubt not in question. You have the right, I guess, even under a stay-at-home order, I guess. I just don't know if that was a wise thing to do. Yeah. Not on principle, just on activity. Was that wise to go mingle with all those people when we really should be staying apart from each other right now until people a lot wiser than us in the medical community and the science community tell us, hey, we're past the curve and all that. I'm willing to turn over, I guess what I'm saying, Fred, in a nutshell, is I'm willing to turn over my health and safety and the health and safety of my family to those who are skilled in what's going on right now. Yeah. I'd be crazy not to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to trust people that know. You got to trust the science. You got to trust the doctors out there because they know. Believe me, they don't want to treat your ass. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They don't, they're there to save lives. Use your head, people.
Yeah.
And, I understand you're stir crazy. You're stuck in the house. You know what?
But quite frankly, too fucking bad.
Yeah,
being an adult, realize that this is. I mean, and what drives me nuts. And this is not gonna fall in favor with, I'm guessing, a lot of people. But I gotta say this, and this is a good opportunity for me to vent a little bit too. It's been a while. I understand that our graduating class of 2020 had their year shortened. I know there's proms that are missed. I know there are baseball players in high school that got whole seasons wiped out.
Yeah.
I'm empathetic. I'm not sympathetic. I'm empathetic. But in the big picture of fucking life, there's going to be a lot of other disappointments down the line that these people are going to have to learn to deal with.
Exactly.
So maybe if they learn to deal with this adversity the correct way, they can learn from this.
What you just said.
I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
This is the. You know what, man? It makes part. It's karma. This is the everybody gets a trophy, fucking generation, getting fucking cut out because now they have to miss the biggest things in their life. Maybe they'll learn because
life's not fucking fair.
That's right.
And I had a conversation with a parent who was just distraught that their son was going to have his whole baseball season, and there was a potential scholarship attached to it. And I listened. I'm an empathetic friend. I listened and I listened and I listened. And she said to me at the end of the conversation, she goes, "Are you getting any of this?" I said, "I really am. I'm sorry that's happening to you." And then I didn't say anything. And then she says, "Well, don't you even have an opinion?" I said, "I'm afraid to tell you what my opinion is because you're going to take offense to it because everybody wants to be offended." Oh, yeah. She asked for it. I said, "Are you really want to hear it?" And she asked for it. And I gave it to her. And she was offended.
Hey, man. Welcome to my world. I do that all the time.
But it's just, but again, if missing the prom or...
I didn't go.
Or not being able to play baseball your senior season because of a virus, of a pandemic, or whatever it is. It could be if it's a musically inclined student who's in an orchestra, whatever the event is, they're going to be okay. They're going to get past it. You're right. It sucks. Yep. I agree. I'd prefer for everything to work out great for everybody. But life is not fair, and the moment we coddle the children and make them feel like, well, things should be fairer for you, fuck that.
Exactly.
It's not helping anybody.
It doesn't help.
It's not helping society.
You know what I fucking laugh at? Is these motherfuckers, you can't get kids today outside to play in the fucking street, to go outside and fucking play.
They all want to go out now, don't
they? Jimmy's
the parents are pushing them out because they don't want to deal with them.
It's like, what the fuck? These kids are in their house, play on a computer or play. Oh, now they want to go out.
Yeah.
Now that there's a virus.
Yeah.
It's Darwinism. It's survival.
I guess, and boy, that's a morbid way of looking at things, and I don't want to do that. But I just, I don't know. I just don't. I'm just wired differently. You know, I can't be offended because I really don't care what someone thinks of me. But on the broader scale, I don't know why people look at every circumstance and take it so personally and then start bitching.
Yeah.
Start bitching. You know, this is going to seem oversimplified, but I think I posted a couple of days ago just out of frustration. You know, if people would give their families and their friends just half of the blind loyalty they give their favorite politician, the world would be a hell of a lot nicer place.
Hell yeah. This is a time to actually get back and meet your family.
Yeah.
Get back and meet your friends. Get back and, or not meet your friends, but you can like talk to somebody on the phone.
Yeah, connect with them.
They've got, house party or whatever. And
Zoom is free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you a dime to have a face-to-face conversation, a virtual. And, God bless and look, I know Hollywood gets bashed a lot. I know the music business gets bashed a lot, but you know what? There are Hollywood actors, there are musicians that are putting on free concerts. You're getting art delivered to you.
Yeah.
Live, sometimes live. I've watched 4 Al Di Meola live mini concerts online, watching that and playing them through my stereo at home, listening to that, knowing that, I've only got a chance to see my favorite musician one time, but I've seen him now 4 times live, and he interacts. This pandemic has yielded that for me selfishly, and I know there's probably many other opportunities for everybody on things they really dig, but you're too busy fucking bitching about everything to take advantage of it.
You've got a month off to do whatever the fuck you want, and they're paying you to sit at home. I don't want to do that. I need to go to the supermarket for the 15th time today. It's just like you're getting to stay the fuck home.
And look,
watch your fucking favorite
we're
artist.
all pinched. I'm pinched financially. Believe me, this time is hurting me. It's hurting you. It's hurting most people. And if you really are overextended in your lifestyle, it's gonna fucking hurt. And that's really, your responsibility.
Exactly.
You overextended yourself, and it's not fair. Well, you know what? Life's not fucking fair. And any good. I got a very good friend, Jim Stewart, who is very much into financial planning, personal responsibility, and he always says if you don't have really 6 to 10 months of savings there in case something happens, well, guess what? Something happened.
Something happened. There you go.
And we're all in kind of the same boat. So I don't know. I don't want to lecture anybody. I just want to vent to the degree that I just think that there's so much freaking bitching. They're looking for things. People are joining social networks. They're looking for arguments. They're looking for things to bitch about. I don't get it.
Yep. And that's exactly it. And that's nobody's ever happy anymore. Can't be fucking happy. You can be the happiest. You can find the happiest point in your life. And you're going to find something to bitch about. You're going to go and fuck it up, find something to bitch about. And that's what people are fucking doing.
Has life ever been fair? Life has never been fair. The word fair it shouldn't even be in our lexicon. It's such an abused term. It just is. And I don't know, like I want to, a case in point, like I walk a lot, so at night I'm walking in my little hometown here, and I can see the cars that are out, nobody stops for the stop signs. I know it's a little thing. It may get me killed if I don't pay attention. Yep. As I'm walking as a pedestrian, but we just are so into ourselves. We're just so when you see the complaining and when you see the outright defiance of what is scientifically proven to be best for the community, which is the social distancing and the quarantine. When you see the defiance of that is a level of selfishness.
Yes.
You can argue philosophical to me. You could argue philosophy or capitalism versus socialism, whatever fucking argument you want to give to me. If people of science and medical say stay the fuck home for these amount of weeks and here's the reason why, and they show it to you on a graph, it's kind of hard, kind of easy to understand, quite frankly. You don't need to have a 4-year degree to see and understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure that as few people get infected as possible.
Yes.
Just comply. For God's sake, you got the rest of your life ahead of you.
Exactly. You know? It's a month. It's 2 months. It would have been 2 months at the most. At the most.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's, I mean, I do everything I can to comply. You know, I only go to the store when I need to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I try to social distance. I mean, I'm pretty distant as it is. You know, I'm fucking talking to animals, and I literally I kill as many germs as I can because I'm a hand sanitizer freak.
Right.
You know, I wear a mask. I wear gloves to the
Right.
you know, when I got to go to the store, and I drink a lot of booze. Like this, for instance, the Wigle City of Champions bourbon.
That's right. Wigle Whiskey.
It'll kill any coronavirus, guaranteed.
It's tasty too, isn't it?
It's
That's
really,
like my third bottle.
It's really good. This will kill the corona. This will kill. We should have had this.
We're not making medical claims on this show. Consult your physician.
No.
Consult your physician for any medical advice. Please, that's all I need.
It's excellent.
So what's on tap for you, man, outside of watching more television?
Oh, man, I got nothing going on. Oh, man, you know what I'm going to do? This is for the rest of the night. I'm going to go home, stay up all night, finish this bottle of whiskey. I'm taking it with me.
No, you're not. You're not taking that with you.
I can't
Oh,
leave
you
it.
drank straight out of that
That's
bottle?
right.
You're taking that with you.
Me, I knew what I was
You're
doing.
taking that with you.
Well, I'm not an idiot. I knew that. And I like this bottle of it's a plastic bottle of gold rum. It looks like I peed in this bottle, like on one of my trips, like to Baltimore or some shit when I had to drive. You know, it's like, look, I can't stop. You know, it's just like, wow, I really don't want to know what this tastes like.
An Asian friend bring that back from one of the islands for me.
But I'll tell you what, man, if I got desperate, I'd drink this.
There's no question.
But I mean, but yeah. So that's on my agenda right now tonight. With a now that I've got booze. And I'm soon to have money. Look out! I've got your number in my phone. I'm calling.
Government money. You got some government
money. Yeah, I'll be going out of state to buy some liquor. You know what I mean? You know, it's great.
Man.
It's places like Maryland. They can have it delivered. You know,
it's nuts, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you can fucking just have. Yeah, I'd like a couple bottles of rum. Give me a bottle of tequila. Give me a couple bottles of vodka and prosecco. Yeah, a couple bottles of champagne, and here's my credit card number. You know, and you could sit there and watch them on your Uber Eats or whatever. They'll just like deliver shit. You know, I'm hearing this shit. I'm like, this is fucking great. Why don't we do that in Pennsylvania? You're asking what I'm going to do next? I'll probably end up being an Uber, other than holding up a state store. You know what? I want to be a Uber booze driver. You know what I mean?
You do that. Is that legal?
I don't know. I don't know. I've got enough booze in my basement that I just found, and in addition to this bottle, I could probably open my own store. If anybody needs to get a hold of me, call my Instagram. I found a treasure trove. I found the Oak Island, the Fred Island of it's like I found my vault of liqueur.
Oh, that's funny as shit.
And it's aged liquor. You know what I also got in my aged liquor? As I never opened it. It's a bottle of whiskey older than me.
Wow.
It was in one of my old aunt's houses when she died.
That's probably worth some money.
It's like a Canadian blend or something like that of whiskeys, but the date on it was like 68, and it's never been opened.
Ooh.
So I imagine if you drank that, how fucked up you would be. Now that was always the fun shit about going with Zakk. To I tell the story, like you wake up and you're at the venue. Fred Kowalo, you got to be here at 8:00. 10 o'clock, I'm like waiting up, my phone's shut off. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Nobody woke me up. Well, dude, we got to fucking go in this fucking liquor store first. Yeah, it's just like, what? Dude, I'm supposed to be at the venue at 8. Yeah, but I'll tell them it's okay. I play for Ozzy. It's just like, now, Zakk, I have to be there to set up at 8, I mean, that's my job. Dude, we got to fucking go to this liquor store. And you walk in a liquor store, it's like, dude, check out this bottle of Jack Daniels from like 1972. $500. You want it? It's like, no, I appreciate it, but dude, fucking, you want the fucking $500 bottle of Jack Daniels or not? No, it's because I would drink it in a day, and it's just like, it's $500. down the drain. And it's just like fucking, and you're sitting there. It's like, dude, a $250 bottle of tequila. Look, check it out. Look, it's got 2 little spouts on it. You want that? No, I really don't. Get them the $250 bottle worth of tequila. Fucking, I got the tequila. Dimebag's like, dude, is that tequila? But I still have the bottle of tequila, you know. But you know, and you know, but stuff like that was always, you know, I would love to be a. I'd love to have like some kind of like crazy drinking party, but I can't. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drink by myself.
You're used to that.
I do it a lot.
Remember that restaurant in Pittsburgh called Mardi Gras? It was up on Mount Nebo Road. I think it's called.
I think I've been
it's
there
called
once.
something else now, or was it? It's been for a couple of different things, but Mardi Gras would have been 30 years ago.
I showed my boobs there once, and it threw me out. It was the wrong kind of Mardi Gras.
Anyways, I showed up to drink on a Friday night there, and my buddy was part of a wedding party for a bachelor party that night, and their first stop was there. And there at the very top of the bar, there was a big, big bottle, and apparently it was a bottle of whiskey from like 1880 or something. And it was $75 for a half of a shot.
Yeah.
So he bought like a line of them. This guy just, and
I gotta know what it tastes like.
I'm standing around, and he's like, "Hey, have one." I'm like, "Sure, okay." Worst effing thing I ever had in my entire. It was like I can't even describe to you how foul that was.
Dude, it's just because it's
cough
expensive.
Syrup,
it's not
bad cough syrup.
Oh, it's not. And you know the joke is that's what, you know, I'm barred for life from the Ritz-Carlton in fucking Phoenix, fucking because of Zakk. But that's what we were doing. We were drinking Louis the 13th, and it's like $300, $350 a shot. And he's like, dude, just give us the bottle. And it's just like, no, just give us the fucking bottle. It's just, and so we're fucking drinking this fucking horrid fucking shit. And that was, you know, we get barred. I get barred for life from the fucking Ritz for fucking hanging out with him. We were playing American Bartending Idol.
Oh, Christ.
And it's $350 a shot, and fucking Zakk used to go in there. You know, Barb used to go, "You guys are spending too much money. We're paying $350 a shot." And Zack's like, "Dude, just give us the bottle." It's like, "Nah, dude, I can't really afford it, dude. I got it." You know, so fucking this guy, he's pouring his drinks. I'm hammered. I shouldn't even be there. My hotel is literally an hour away on a golf resort. Zack's at the Ritz-Carlton. He's like, "Get your ass down here." I'm like, "I'm not coming down to the Ritz-Carlton." "Get your ass down here." It's like, "Hi, dude, I order you to come down." "Ah, man, now he gave me the order. I guess I'll buy you drinks." "Oh, man, now he's buying me drinks. I'll pay for your I pay for your cab." "Oh, man, all right." So I get on there, and it's me, Tim Bolin, and Zakk Wylde, and we're drinking at the Ritz-Carlton bar. Dirtbags like us at the Ritz-Carlton bar.
It's beautiful.
In Phoenix.
Beautiful.
And the guy, he's fucking, we're drunk. This is like at the height of American Idol. It's just, you know, starting out. And, so we decide we're going to play American Bartending Idol. And, you know, like, fucking Tim's like, you know, or Tim's like fucking Randy Jackson's like, "Yo, dog, this drink was it was good, dog, but it was like watered down, dog. You know, it was okay, dog, but you know, I'll let you to the next round, dog." And Zack's like Paula Abdul going, "It was good, but it was sweet. You know, I liked it. It had a lot of energy. It had some pep. And yes, you're gonna go on." And I was Simon Cowell, and I told the guys, "Don't fucking quit your day job. You're the worst entire bartender I've ever seen in my life." So this guy's all pissed off at us, and we're drinking Louis the 13th, which is shit, and Zack's eating wasabi peas out of the little bowl that they put there, and he's going, he's popping in his mouth, and he's like, "Dude, here we go, fucking bottoms up." And he goes, he pops a wasabi pea, and he fucking goes, he takes a shot, and he falls out of his chair, and he's laying on the fucking ground, and he starts. We're laughing. We're thinking he's fucking around, like he's fucking with the guy for, you know, and he's sitting there and he's fucking, and he starts doing he starts doing coffee grinders around the floor, like, you know, like just spinning in a circle. It's a Ritz-Carlton bar at happy hour. It's fucking jam-packed with like all these business people, like in business suits, lawyers, doctors, people there for conferences,
Right.
And then there's the 3 dirtbags that haven't showered, forever in our dirty Black Label stuff. And Zakk's rolling around the floor. Then he starts puking. He's puking on the floor and he's rolling in it and his hair's in it and his beard's in it and he's rolling around and then I realized, hey man, he's not fucking around. So I help him up. I'm like, I'm fucking joking. I'm joking on a wasabi pee. He gets up, fucking, you don't Heimlich somebody for a wasabi pee. It's not fucking. They just fucking hit you in the back of the fucking. It's a uvula, the thing that hangs down in the back of your throat. That's the word of the day.
Uvula.
It
sounds sexual.
It does. But it's that thing. So he hits the thing in the back of his throat. He thinks he's choking. He's rolling around. He's puking. Blah blah blah. Tim Boland's getting up, going, I'm suing that guy right there. Fucking, and it's just like we've got Zakk with puke in his hair and his beard, rolling around on the floor. Tim Boland, who hasn't showered, and he's got some kind of, fucking, he's sitting there, he's going all fucking nuts on me. I'm gonna sue. And he grabs this woman, and I just remember she had a white business suit on, and she goes, "Here's, I need you to be my witness." And she goes, "Get the fuck away from me." And there's this like streak of like Black Label dirt that comes across this fucking woman, and I'm sitting there, and it's me because I just want to be around to pick up the pieces, man. I sit there and smile at everything and giggle at all this shit. And fucking, he's getting up there, and but he gets us thrown out and barred for life, and Sharon comes down.
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, Sharon comes down, and she's like, "You fucking idiot!" And she throws us out. We're barred for life, Fucking. So it took many years for me to get back into that Ritz-Carlton, but I mean, these are like the drunken adventures that I like to go on, and I miss them. Mm-hmm. But I can sit in my room and replay them in my mind.
But you lived them.
I lived them. I loved them. And as far as what I'm going to do, I should start writing that book.
Yeah, this has been a great opportunity for it. I've been saying that for at least a decade now.
I know. So we were talking about things that we could find what to do. I could write my book, or I could drink.
Or do both.
I could do. I write better when I'm drunk.
We all do.
So that's what's on my agenda. I'll probably finish off this bottle, edit some photos. Well,
let me ask you this. So your appearance here, your prior appearances, you're still my highest rated shows.
I don't see how.
But I think, we're going to run with this setup for a while. We're going to try to figure out a way to maybe bring extra guests on here. But when do you think, in your opinion, that we're going to be able to do full shows again? People are going to feel comfortable coming in, sitting in the same room.
You know what?
And I know you would have been okay with it tonight. And I have other guests that are okay. They're comfortable coming in and sitting across the table a good 6 feet from me and doing the show. But we want to make sure that we let people know that we're doing all we can for safety.
We're setting the example.
Yes, we are. But how long do you think this is going to go on for?
You know what? I'd say 2 months.
Okay.
I'd say.
Is the NFL going to play this year?
No.
The NFL is not going to play.
They may. You know what? I bet that they won't. We're not going to finish the hockey season. We're not going to have baseball. We're not going to have NBA. Thanks, guys, for doing that. Those guys. That's where it all started at with the sports thing. The NBA guys got it, and the hockey guys. But yeah, it's going to be a while before we can go back to being normal. At least in my
congregating
opinion.
in huge
Exactly, because why chance it? Why?
It's not worth it.
You know what? It's not worth it. And what?
But I'm for them playing. If they wanted to play the games with no fans, I'm for that.
That's what I was just going to say.
Even baseball, give me something to watch.
We can watch it. We hey man,
if people want to bet on it, so
if we would have been like Taiwan. If we would have shut it down and strict quarantine,
right.
If you went outside in Singapore, you got shot.
Or they caned you.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't fucking around. It's like, you know what? They got nothing going on there now, do they?
No, they don't. No, they don't. That's funny you said that.
That's the truth. That's what they did. They put a.
I mean,
and I know people in China, and that's what they have an armed guard outside their hotel.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I really struggle. I don't want to surrender our liberties. It's a really slippery slope. It just is. I just wish there was more personal responsibility. And I'm not into turning on my neighbor, and I'm not
No.
into turning in my neighbor. I'm not into that stuff. I just think that
You
if
would
we,
hope that the person be smart enough.
exactly, or take the thing seriously, especially when it comes to our senior population, because they are the highest at risk, and those who have struggled with cancer or have autoimmune issues, which that's a portion of the population.
Yeah.
A very good friend of mine is a cancer survivor, and she's a warrior, lives up the block from me, and I worry about her. So, I think if you don't take it seriously, you're disrespecting, and I'm not being offended here, I'm just making a statement. You're disrespecting your fellow citizen.
Exactly.
And oftentimes it's our senior, and we owe them at least respect.
Exactly. And that's the problem with this country, Eric. People don't give respect anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. The common courtesies that you and I had as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
and
different kind of
unfortunately,
parenting.
We've become old.
Different kind of parenting, and we're seeing the process of I have to be careful labeling, because obviously I think there's many more good people out there than not so good.
But it's the bad ones that
Get all the attention.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so I need you back here shortly, buddy, and thank you for being the first guest back in our new pandemic
happy to do it.
studio setting.
I drank a bunch of whiskey.
Yeah,
so,
you can
so
just take that with you.
You're not going to get the germs on the microphone either. They're dead.
Oh, so just so we also know, too, I invested a couple $100 and we bought a slew of new microphone.
There you go.
Foam. So every show we're going to replace the foams, too. We're not taking any chances.
I'm taking this home with me, man. I want to do a dick pic or something with it. I don't know. Fucking.
And with that, we're out of here. Thank you, everybody. Fred Kowalo. And Fred's, you can check out Fred, obviously, if you can't find him, you're not looking hard enough. But check out Fred's photography on Instagram. And the handles are
Fred Kowalo Photography.
There you go.
It's not that hard.
All right. Until next time, brother.
Cheers.
We're out.
Bye.
There you go, bro.
Holy shit. I could drink his whole bottle. I was
Take
trying
it.
not to.
Just take it.